James Gunn and Peter Safran have been hard at work at DC Studios trying to conjure up a 10-year plan for DC films, TV shows, animated projects and video games. Now they've revealed their big plans and it's interesting. First up, I'm writing the script for this literally an hour after the reveal, so all the information here is fresh, as are my thoughts and reactions. No research at all going into this. Fun. We know what coming out next is Shazam! Fury of the Gods. This is the sequel to Shazam, and it continues the fashion of a DC character being out on the sidelines, away from the main narratives of the DC universe thus far, so it fits into their new plan quite well. I like the first Shazam. This one looks like more of the same, which is to say a pretty traditional by-the-book superhero film. I'm not exactly excited for it though. I can't quite put my finger on why that is. Then we have The Flash. It's been confirmed that this will be the big reset point for the DCU. What that means exactly is still a little unclear, but Flash is capable of time travel and travel across the multiverse, and in the comic books, that can have repercussions. This could be a case of us going back in time, giving us younger stars. It could be just recasting some of the actors, or maybe the new DCU is set in the multiverse universe that Flash visits. I doubt it's that last one. But we know this is probably the last we'll see of Ben Affleck. I say probably because there's another film coming out which he may or may not be in. No word on Ezra Miller. Are they keeping them on? Are they recasting the Flash after this movie? We don't know. I think they're taking a wait and see approach to it, but this movie will do well because of Michael Keaton's involvement. So it's going to be hard to gauge the success levels based on Ezra's involvement. After that we have Aquaman 2. This one is interesting because Jason Momoa is seemingly the only current DC star to be sticking around in film form in the new DCU. Like Shazam 2, I'm not exactly excited for this one. It just seems a little off to the side. Potentially fun like the first one, but not necessary. Maybe I'm wrong. Ben Affleck apparently has a role in this, but it was supposed to be Michael Keaton before him. So it's all confusing as to who Batman is in this movie, or even if he is in the movie. Somewhere, Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot have roles as well, either in The Flash or Aquaman 2. Are they still doing that? Not sure. But it seems Henry is gone, so probably not. That leads us into the first chapter of their 10-year plan, the first official Gunn and Safran works, along with the other writers they brought aboard. Its title's God and Monsters. Interesting that they're doing it in chapters. I suppose that's their version of Marvel's phases. First up is an animated TV show called Creature Commandos. It's written entirely by James Gunn, so it'll probably be good and funny. They're saying they're going to cast actors who move into animation and then live action and vice versa, a bit like Star Wars and now Marvel. Here's the thing, I have no idea who or what the Creature Commandos are. That's cool, new stories, new concepts, wow me, please. Next up is Waller, a live action series all about Amanda Waller, the mastermind behind the Suicide Squad. This will bridge the gap between the previous and next season of Peacemaker, which has already been confirmed too, so that's something we'll also have at some point in the future. Viola Davis is returning, which is good, she's fantastic in the role. I'm not sure what an Amanda Waller show looks like, she's usually a side supporting character or a villain. Peacemaker gave us some insight into her as a woman and her family, but only slightly. Very interesting. We know some of the Peacemaker cast are in this show, and it's written by one of the people behind the Watchmen TV show and the Doom Patrol TV show. Both great shows, which gives me hope for this one. Now is the big one, the first feature film, Superman Legacy, focusing on a young Superman, but not an origin story, which is great. I don't need to see his origins yet again. It's written by James Gunn, which gives me hope. I just hope he reins in his humour a bit. Superman can be funny and lighter in tone, but not as funny as Guardians or Suicide Squad. I have faith. It sounds interesting, a new, younger Superman who is an alien living among humans. They seem to get what the character is and what he should represent. Then we have a big HBO series called Lanterns. I don't know why they emphasize the size and scope of this in comparison to the other TV shows, but it has me intrigued. It's about the Green Lanterns, Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. I'm glad they're both in it. They're saying it's a terrestrial set, true detective style show about space cops. That sounds really cool. Apparently they'll discover a big mystery that ties into the DCU's larger story, which is fantastic. The DCU really needed a larger overarching goal or focus. Glad they're setting it up in multiple projects. It'll give us a reason to keep coming back and to watch all of these projects, if they're all connected and putting together this story like a jigsaw puzzle. The next movie is The Authority, based on the Wildstorm characters. I have no idea who they are, can't really say much about it. Again, it's their opportunity to wow me. Paradise Lost is a Wonder Woman prequel that's apparently Game of Thrones-like. This one I'm not sure about. Yeah, there's story to be told about Themyscira and the characters there, but why should I care about this? It's not Wonder Woman, she's not in it. The Brave and the Bold is the new DCU Batman. This is where things get even more interesting. It's not Matt Reeves' Batman, it's not Robert Pattinson. They're getting their own Elseworld movies, which is great. Keep them separate. It's not even Ben Affleck playing them. What we know is that this focuses on Damian Wayne, the son of Batman and Talia al Ghul. It will also feature Robin and the larger Bat family. Finally, they're getting the Batverse into live action movies. This is great. It also means Batman is probably younger than Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton's, but not necessarily. There's still room for a Batman Beyond at some point in the future as an Elseworld story, or even an eventual DCU story. I think we will get that one day. This has my attention, I just hope they get the casting and the ages of the characters right. Booster Gold is a live action TV show. I know the name of the character very vaguely, but nothing else. Again, wow me, please. He's apparently a time traveling loser who uses future tech to be a big shot superhero in the present day. It sounds fun, but he also sounds like a sort of villain? Is he? I don't really know. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is a big sci-fi movie. Firstly, glad she's getting a live action movie. Glad she's in the same universe as Superman. It sounds like they're adapting the comic for this one. They more specifically said that and didn't bring that up quite as clearly with some of the other projects, which will no doubt adapt the comics to certain extents. Does this mean it'll be more faithful to the comic? Either way, I'm interested. The final film in this chapter is Swamp Thing. This one is really cool and it opens the door to a lot of potential things. Maybe Constantine. I hope it's a horror. I hope it's more adult. My worry is how connected this will be to other stuff. Swamp Thing is sometimes a hero, sometimes a villain, often off doing his own thing. But I really like that they're doing this. That first TV show Swamp Thing was okay too. Shame it got cancelled, but it led to this, so maybe a good thing. Sort of. We also now know that James Mangold is in talks to direct it, which is brilliant. And that's it so far. It's a cool mix of well-known, familiar characters with lesser-known properties and characters. And this is just part of Chapter 1, not all of it. I hope they nail some of the casting and the ages of certain characters. I hope the overarching connective narrative is decent enough to make me want to come back for each show and movie. I have faith. I like the sound of what we have going on. Yeah, there are some disappointing omissions here, but this is the first chapter. Again, only half of it as well. There's time for the missing pieces to come along later. Those are my thoughts thus far, without doing too much research. Let me know what yours are in the comments down below. Supply your own topics of discussion as well, and subscribe to my channel and follow me at _Grant Burton. Thanks for watching, see ya.